Well, I'll talk about a few positives first. For one thing, I like the story. It was well told enough for what it is. It is pretty derivative, but I'll talk more about that later. And I thought the actors that portrayed the main characters did a fine enough job, including Josh Duhamel, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Also, the graphics are nice. They're nothing amazing, but they get the job done, I guess. Also, like, now there's a health kit system in the campaign instead of the usual regenerating health. You pick up health kits and you have to use them manually. There's a couple other nice features, like there's a new support system where squad mates can toss you ammo or health kits or grenades. There's even a cool little slow motion feature. I'll show you a clip of it here.
First aid kit over here.
We sure can't go back into the street.
There's also a good amount of vehicle usage in the game. You get to drive a Jeep like 2 or 3 times. You get to pilot a tank for a while. And late in the game, you get to fly a plane and actually engage in some aerial combat. Overall, it adds some nice variety, and it's not totally on rails. You actually get to drive and shoot the thing, so that's kind of nice. As for the negatives, the story is really derivative, almost to the point of plagiarism. They ripped off stuff from movies like Aliens, Platoon, and of course, Saving Private Ryan. They even stole the bayonet charge from Battlefield 1. I mean, coincidence? I don't know. That's probably the biggest negative in the game, is the unoriginality. I think there's also a few too many stealth sections. I'm not really a big fan of stealth sections in Call of Duty campaigns, but most of them you can just choose to go loud instead if you want to, without no real penalty. Also, the game lasts about 6 hours, which isn't too bad considering the multiplayer and the zombies mode, which I'll get into zombies next year. I really don't have a whole lot to say about this mode. I've never really been a big fan of Call of Duty Zombies. I mean, I enjoy other games with zombies in them, just not in Call of Duty for some reason. I think a lot of it has to do just with how complicated it's gotten. Like, you gotta turn on the generator, and then you gotta find the item to open this door, and then you gotta save the monkey from space, and then turn into JFK, and, just crap like that. I never really got into it. It's just too out there for me. But, I played a few rounds of it, and it works fine. I'm playing locally here. If it's your thing, you'll probably like it. It's just not for me, really, so.
Explosives ready. Recon aircraft ready for mission. Recon searching for targets. Fire in the hole!
So I just rented this game from my local video store, but I would have been pretty upset if I actually bought the game and was hoping to play it Friday night. Well, for one thing, I couldn't even connect to the servers till much later in the evening. And even when I could, there was a lot of problems, like the headquarters mode wasn't working properly, supply drops weren't opening correctly. A lot of these issues have been fixed already, but still, there are other problems as well. Like, for one thing, there's only 9 maps. Normally they ship with, like 16? I saw the war mode had 3 maps of its own, but that's if you want to play that mode. And there's not very many guns either. There's like 29 total, I believe. I only counted 3 pistols, which is pathetic. Black Ops 1 had, like 6, 7 pistols? And of course, that's just to sell some supply drops down the road and DLC maps and everything. So that's pretty bogus. And a couple of maps aren't very good. There's just too many flanking routes, and they're just not very much fun to play. So if you're the type that buys these games just for the multiplayer, I can't really recommend it. And there's only 9 maps, 12 if you include the war mode, and only around 30 guns. So there's just not much content there. Unless you plan on blowing money down the road on supply drops and DLC maps, you're just not gonna get your money's worth. But you know, if you want to play the campaign and the zombies and the multiplayer, it might be worth buying. But otherwise, I gotta give it a 7 out of 10. It's kind of weak 7 out of 10. Like, the lack of content and the unoriginal story just didn't do much for me, so yep, 7 out of 10. I thought this part was kind of funny, where these German soldiers come rushing all these flames like they're jacked up on PCP or something. I don't know, it just got a laugh out of me. Just struck me as funny. Check it out.